Going for two live. Welcome to the B League's Pick'ems show, I guess. Anyways, welcome. It's not quite the old episodes where we were punching about for 20 to 30 to 40 minutes talking about props and DFS and all that sort of fun stuff. No, we're doing quick hitters and we're going to talk about the late afternoon games, the 4 o'clock kickoff games and the Sunday night football primetime game, if you will. We're going to talk about a couple of props that we like on those. But before we do our props, we like the most from Underdog Fantasy. Promo code GF2 for 100% matching deposit up to 250 big ones. As always, you can find me in our Discord, our Going for Two Live Discord, and you can find me over there if you want to ask any more questions. Find me in the Prop Bets channel. We're going to talk about the afternoon games and a couple of props that kind of looked at and went, okay, that's interesting. Maybe we should talk about that a little bit more. Pick number one is going to be Justin Herbert. He's at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going lower than 239.5 passing yards. I really wish we wouldn't because I love Justin Herbert. I think he's a fantastic player. Love him for Dynasty and DFS and all that sort of fun stuff. But we've been slating how bad this has been for him this offseason. Like the worst possible outcomes have happened all offseason. So why are we going to start betting on him? Like it makes zero sense to be talking about how bad it's been and, oh, no, don't worry about it. We're going to go over it. No, absolutely not. That's just not how it works. Look, no Allen, no Eckler, no Williams, no Everett, no idea who's going to step up and do the bulk of the work for him. And, oh, by the way, it's just going to be this run-heavy team that we're assuming under Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, no, let's just let him chuck it for 280 again. Like, no, it's not going to happen that easily, I don't think. There's going to be some things to work out for the Chargers going forward. I like what they've done structurally. I just think week one, we're asking a lot of them. By proxy, I think he's going to take a hit the most in that regard. Look, his history suggests that he does go off against the Raiders. So does everyone. But, it's also an unknown that could be worse. And I think that's the hardest thing here. The unknown is what we know, and it's probably not going to be great for him this week. So Justin Herbert lower than 239.5 passing yards. Pick number two, I kind of like this one. It's probably not something everyone's going towards, but Chris Godwin over 58.5 receiving yards versus Washington. Look, if Chris Godwin playing predominantly in the slot is for real, like they've been telling us, then 58.5 is a blessing for us because he is going to smash that against the Commanders because, let's face it, they're still trash bags, right? They just float around on a football field somehow. So, as much as we like Dan Quinn, I like Dan Quinn. I liked him at Dallas. I'm a Giants guy. I liked him at Dallas. I liked him at Seattle. I liked him at Atlanta. I have no problem with Dan Quinn. And I think he's going to have good success with Washington. I think they're doing the right things, I see. But let's not think that this secondary got any better over the offseason. I don't think there's been enough time to make him take these lemons and turn them into lemonade. I just don't think that's there. And Chris Godwin, he is such a technician in that slot, 58.5 receiving yards. I feel like is going to be cake for him. And pick number three for us, it's going to be in our primetime game. We're looking at the Rams at Detroit. Cooper Kupp over 70.5 receiving yards. I feel like this is a gimme. In an offseason where he, A, looked back to his healthy self, and B, where Puka Nacua hasn't been his healthy self, I feel like that's something that we really have to grasp. And we know the connection that he's had with Matt Stafford. It's incredible. So the reports are that Cooper Kupp looks like his old self again, and he could be back to that old role that saw him dominate the NFL a couple of seasons ago. Detroit have shown a certain ability to struggle against wide receivers. And I'm talking struggle. They're not very good against them. So we're talking Detroit gave up the third most yards to receivers in 2023. I don't see that trend stopping going forward week one. Cooper Kupp is a lock to have a big game. Let's recap those just nice and quickly. Pick number one for our afternoon slate, week one of the NFL. Justin Herbert against the Vegas Raiders at home, lower than 239.5 passing yards. Pick number two, Chris Godwin, over 58.5 receiving yards versus Washington. And pick number three, Cooper Kupp on the road at Detroit, over 70.5 receiving yards. That's all from me this week. Safe bets, happy punts, easy work. Look at that, as always, underdogfantasy.com, promo code GF2 for 100% up to $250. All that